Welcome to the Interview Podcast, the voice of InterCT. InterCT's aim is to help young athletes become excellent individuals through the vehicle of soccer. Love the game, love to learn, and love to compete at InterCT.
Hi, everyone. Back with another Interview Podcast. Sorry for the little hiatus. It's been busy here at InterCT. I'm joined with, as always, Tom Robinson. How you doing today, Tommy Bones?
Good, man. Good to be back at it. Like Aaron said, very, very busy. Lots of things going on. And we realized once Coach Leon highlighted it 7 times that we'd not done a podcast for a few days. So here we are.
Well, it's just finding the time, right?
Yeah.
Finding the time between sessions and emails and family. I barely see my parents at all, so. But we have some things to recap. We have some things to look forward to. We just want to make sure everybody's updated. So we can start with a little recap for the sporting tournament this past weekend. So was that April 20th and 21st?
Yes. Yeah, it was good. Previous years, we've always struggled to find a good tournament for the 7v7 age groups because all of our older teams kind of get looked after at the Needham tournament over Memorial Weekend. Right. We just don't physically have enough coaches or time in the day to send all of the teams to Needham. And one reason for that is it only starts at 9v9. So we've looked in the past at other experiments with, I'm trying to think in my time here, I've been to tournaments in Brooklyn. I've been to tournaments at FC Westchester. We've done our own. We've done Glastonbury, and there's never really been a consistent one that works. And then this year we got the schedule from EDP, and most of our 7v7 teams actually had the weekend off. So we thought, well, what a better way than instead of giving the team the full weekend off, those kids that were here, even though it was spring break, let's get them in a tournament and play. And I actually thought the 7v7 aspect of it was really good. They had the right size fields, they had the right side goals. It was all on turf. None of the 7v7 stuff got affected by the weather, like other things at the tournament. I know they had to close a few fields for the 11v11 and 9v9s, but we was up there. It allowed myself, especially selfishly, to coach 6 games back to back.
You're at the same field, right?
Same field. I didn't move. I got rained on for the first 2 hours, and then the sun came out, and it was much nicer. But it makes my life easier that I can just sit down, do 7 games. I had Coach Flav there helping me with a few warm-ups. Coach Gene was up there, Dan, who else was there? Amade, Coach Leon. So it was a few early mornings. I had 8 a.m. kickoffs both days, so 7:30 warm-up, and then it's an hour away from my house. So a few early mornings, but it was worth it because I thought the tournament was good, and the actual style of the tournament was a little bit interesting. They called it the Sporting CT Shootout, and the reason they called it the shootout is you got a point for every goal.
Really?
Yeah. So it was weird because it actually kind of encouraged you to keep scoring on teams. Yeah. So if you're the weaker team, it's a little bit of a pain, but if you're the better team, it helps. So yeah, up to 8 goal difference, you keep getting a point per goal. But they also had incentives for shutouts. If you kept the shutout, you got 4 points. Right. So it wasn't like you could have won all your games, but still lost on points. Like if you won all your games 1-0 or 2-1, you might have lost to a team that lost the game but won a game 7, 8, 9.
I think Needham needs to do that because I think we won 12, 14 now last. I encourage them to stop scoring, but
yeah, it's a difficult one because I actually don't like the encouraging to stop scoring. I think if you're against a team that's better than you, maybe allow extra players on the field to make it a little bit harder. Yeah. But I don't like because I've been on it where kids have dribbled to the other end of the field, turn around and pass it all the way back. I'm just like, just score. Like I don't need you to do that against me, but
you put incentives on it or like restrictions. Oh, we have to make 10 passes, 15 passes before and then just passing the ball around.
Yeah, it's not realistic.
So that makes it difficult. But
I think overall good tournament, fun tournament. Nice that you don't have to stop at a hotel and do all that aspect of it and eat. I did get heavily overpriced. That might be a new tally thing I do. What's the most expensive bacon and egg and cheese you can get at a tournament?
I think the one in Poughkeepsie was big for me.
How much?
I think it was like $15.
Oh, that must have been a really good one. Yeah, I was complaining at $7.50.
Oh, that's nothing.
The cheese,
for bacon, egg, and cheese.
The cheese looked like it had come straight out of the plastic factory. There's barely any.
That's
egg
the best cheese.
Piece of bacon, so. That's
the best cheese. The Kraft singles.
But the coffee was ready though. They had a big coffee station, so you would have been happy. But yeah, overall, good tournament, fun tournament. We the boys' sides that I coach, that I know the results for, we had a really good weekend up there. A few of the other teams struggled, but again, we're looking at competition over anything, and that's the reason why we wanted to have it that the Norwalk teams went to Sporting and the Union teams went to Glastonbury, because we didn't want to go to another tournament where it would be Union versus Norwalk the whole entire time.
Yeah, no, so that's good, and our 9v9, 11v11 teams will go to Needham, and that's historically a good tournament for us.
Yes.
So we have that to look forward to. That's when in May is that?
Memorial Weekend.
So
we go Friday, whatever that is. I'm going to tell you right now. I'll look. We would travel up Friday, the 24th of May, and then we'd have games 25th, 26th, and the 27th. If our teams make it, is finals day.
Right.
And that's where we would stay over to the Monday.
Yeah, because it is technically a 3-day tournament. If you win, yeah.
And historically, we've done pretty well at those tournaments.
Yeah. We had some teams win last year. Some Union teams did very well. So
2010 team, third year in a row.
Yeah, was it third year in a row?
Third year in a row.
Wow.
Oh, this year might be third year in a row. No, third year in a row. Yeah, because COVID, the weird COVID one, there wasn't actually a final.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was my first one.
Yeah, that we had lovely weather all weekend.
Oh man, that was terrible.
Yeah, it rained all weekend.
Quinn dressed up in his wellies.
Yeah, he was going fishing.
His boots up to his knees. So that's a little quick tournament recap. And now we can look forward to some of the tryouts that we have. We're looking really forward now. We have our USLY during the summer. So we have our tryouts for that Sunday, May 5th. So all of that information can be found on the website, interctfc.com. But if you have any questions regarding USLY, you can contact me, you can contact Coach Tom or Coach Anthony.
Gene on the girls'
Gene as well on the girls' side, because we have both boys and girls. We're really excited about that. But Sunday, May 5th, tryout. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out. But as of next week, the girls have tryouts.
Correct.
So what days do you have the information there, Tom?
Yeah, all the information is on the website. I honestly don't want to bore everybody with all the dates, because the way that with us putting the turf in, we wanted to bring everybody back to All Saints, where in previous years we used to have the tryouts at Fairfield U. So that would be all the 11v11 teams and up. This year we've tried to do it differently. So it means that the schedule for practice kind of gets a little bit mixed in there because we're trying to get the people on the turf to practice. So
right.
Girls have tryouts next week starting April 29th. Then the boys come in the following week on the May 6th. The girls go back in again afterwards on May 13th. And then the high school boys would go in on May 20th. And then all of a sudden, we're at the Needham tournament.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 weeks left of the spring left.
It happens fast.
So, yeah, unfortunately, because of, again, so many teams, what me and Leon was chatting before, were projected across all the inter-CT locations to have close to 75 teams.
Wow.
So it takes a lot of time to get these tryouts in, and we're trying to do it to minimize, affecting everybody. There will be a few ones where, practice schedule has changed. So on the boys' side, pre-high school, you won't have team practices that week. Your team practice will be your tryout. So, for example, my 2015 team, who typically practice Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, their practices as of tryouts would be Monday and Wednesday, because that's when the tryouts are. Now, a few people are asking me, do I have to come to tryouts? The answer's no. If you don't want to be there or you've got something else in, it's not the end of the world. The reason we would like you there is, one, it allows us to compare new players to them. 2, it's also a good selling point. If our stronger players are at tryouts, the people who are coming in can see the standard of player that we have. And then 3rd, it's used for their session that week. So if you don't come to tryouts at all, you have no practice that week and there's no touches of the ball, and it might be a little bit tricky come the game at the weekend. So they're kind of the three reasons why. Some of the programs are done slightly different. Coach Gene's come at it with a different approach for the girls, because they're trying to compete on a few different levels, and he wanted to make sure players were able to be seen multiple times. So the way Gene's doing it is he needs people to attend 2 of the 4 tryouts. But the high school guys and the younger boys, we've kind of gone the old-fashioned way that we've always done, where we just kind of, that 1 week, we totally change everything and just you come in for those days and we kind of go from there. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell, right? All the information I could read out all the times here, but there's so many different times and dates and age groups that it's going to be long-winded. But all the information, if you go to our website, the header at the top that says tryouts, you can click on that for a homepage. It kind of gives you all the information. It's got USL Youth on there, DPL, it's got your normal Connecticut leagues, and then it's got the Union stuff on there, the Litchfield stuff on there. And then if you actually want more specific information, you've got the subheaders in there for the high school boys, the girls, the pre-high school, and all that stuff.
Yeah, and if you're listening and interested in Inter-Union, Milford and Shelton, all of that information is on the website. Just know that they are 2 different locations. So when you are registering, Union is Shelton Milford, Norwalk is obviously Norwalk. But it's a busy time of year, and if you are interested, just sign up and see where it goes. I have a couple players that ask me, oh, should we go to tryouts, or some players out of the club that are looking to come and maybe interested in Inter. A tryout is a nice way to get your name out there to us coaches to see you, but also see the level of our players, because for our current players, it's more of a practice session. It'll be treated so. But all that information, again, is on the website. So if you have any questions, Tom, any questions about tryouts, who should they reach out to?
Coach Aaron. What we're trying to do is you would reach out to your directors. It depends if it's like a specific question about your son, reach out to your coach. They're going to know your person the best. If there's another one where you want to reach out to the next person above your coach, that would be Anthony and Aaron. And then if you want to talk to me, more than welcome to talk to me. Also, then above me, you've got Leon and Marty. And then same on the girls' side, you talk to your coach or you talk to Gene. Same at Shelton, Milford, Union Branch, you would talk to your coach, or then you'd go to Coach Stephen. We're all pretty connected. If you can't get hold of me, but you can get hold of Aaron. Aaron knows what he's talking about. If you can't get hold of Aaron, you get me. We can kind of help most things. The biggest thing, the questions usually that I get is, who's going to be the coach? Who's going to do this? What's it going to like? Do we know the practice schedule? No, we don't know the practice schedule for the fall yet. We can tell you what leagues we're going to play in. We have a rough idea of who the coaches are. We have our sit-down meetings with the coaches next week to figure out what they want to do, what their aspirations are. Do they want to be with Connecticut? Do they want to keep moving forward with us? So we can't announce coaches on certain teams. We have a rough idea of how we would like to do it. We do look to tweak the boys side a little bit next year and have more consistent coaches on the Zone 1 Academy sides, opposed to right now, for example, Coach Aaron coaching RL, SL, and EDP. What we might look to do is have one coach all the 9v9 Zone 1 Academy teams, one coach all the 77s, and then another coach all the EDP teams, just so it's like a consistent face. And it also would make Aaron's life much easier, because he would do 4 games back to back at the same location instead of having to go from Oakwood to, Eastern to somewhere else. Yeah. So we are trying to look at that for the benefit of the coaches, but also consistency. If Aaron's coaching 4 teams at 9v9, he's going to know what to expect from the other teams because he's already played them. He's going to know the philosophy of the other clubs, so it's going to help us structure that. On the girls' side, there's going to be a few new faces in there. We're looking forward to that. We have a few new faces with us in the office that arrived yesterday, so we might do a little podcast with them in a few minutes, just so you can get to know them. You should have seen Coach Antonio around the field. He's been with us since the start of the spring. We got Coach Flav back 2 weeks ago. Has Flav been with us? So a few new faces, and we've got even more applying online each week. So obviously we would like to retain as many of our coaches as possible, the same way we would like to retain as many of our players and families as possible. We don't get better by changing coaches every year and changing players every year. We want to keep people around, and we want people to be here that want to grow into Connecticut with us. And that's kind of the same thing. On the coaching side, the only 2 pointers that I want to give parents when you go to these tryouts is do your research. You are well within your right to talk to somebody, ask questions. What league am I playing in? What level am I playing in? there's a lot of people out there that'll tell you a league's an academy league when it's not an academy league. They'll tell you it's got this pathway when it's not got this pathway. So just make sure you're doing your homework, make sure you're doing your research. If you're dealing with a person who has your child's interest at heart, they will be honest with you. They will tell you what league and what level they're playing at, because it's a lot easier to be honest now in April and May time, and much harder when you get to September and you realize what you've signed up for is totally different. And another thing, put the club on tryout as well. You know what I mean? It's not just your kid trying out at the club. You guys have to try out the club. Does the commute work? Are the coaches what you want to be part of? Are the league formats and the pathways? You know, have a look at the pathway. What is the chance of your kid making it to the top level of the pathway? And they're the little things that you need to do, because the kids that I think about who have been with Everton America into Connecticut all the way are doing really well. You think about kids like Emmett Zala, who I remember coaching him 10 years ago when he was on my U8 team.
Right.
And you see what he's doing now, doing ECNL, doing USL. He was a second team player for 2 or 3 years, then kept bumping up as people left. And he's having a great experience, a great pathway. And there's other kids that we can throw out into those same names, like a Noah Rossini. He would be another one who's done that same thing, you know, that same pathway. Started off as a second team player, first team player. He's been to Tampa now twice with us, same with some of the other 2010s who were back down there when were we there? March time with us. So, you know, have a look at that pathway, because it's very easy to say, here's our pathway to a pro league or to this one, and then you actually do your research and it's like, no one's ever done that.
Right.
So just making sure you look at that. And like I said, that's the biggest thing, is you guys you're paying for a service at the end of the day. So, you know, what do you believe in? You know, same as going to a restaurant. You know, are you going to go to a farm to table restaurant? Have a little look. There's the same little things in the soccer world as well, where people are going to do things differently. We pride ourselves on being open, reachable, and honest. You know, I don't think I can say the same for every single club in Connecticut, but that's the way we like to do things, and we're always trying to do our best for each kid. And if that sometimes means telling a kid that we want them to go and try out for New York Red Bulls or New York City, we will do that, because we want the best for the player, not necessarily the kid. Because obviously, if we wanted to keep every kid into Connecticut, it would make us better, but then we would be holding back some players, because we do actually have some really good players.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a key phrase that you said there, Tom. Put the club on trial, because really, you know, it's so saturated, especially in Connecticut. So many clubs, they're all saying different things, but ultimately they're saying similar things as well. So I have a parent I spoke to recently that you know, said, hey, we tried out for a different club. He made the team, but he's really happy at Inter. What should we do? And I said, well, if you're happy here, both kids play here and are enjoying it, why are you looking somewhere else? Well, maybe it's, you know, I want to make MLS Next or ECNL team in the future, but you know, as of right now, you are happy and your kids are progressing. So it really is a matter of, okay, you know, what is this club, what does this program stand for? Do we like the coaching staff? Are the kids enjoying it? Are they having fun? And are they progressing as soccer players? Because really, you know, you can't necessarily go wrong, but because it is so saturated, because there are many different, I guess, pathways you can say, or, you know, it really is a matter of, are you happy here? And, you know, it's for the love of the game, and all of us coaches have your child's interest in mind. So really think about that. Put the club on trial. If you are going to other tryouts, there's nothing wrong with that, but really do understand what you are signing up for. And like Tom said, you know, like you said, Tom, what did you just say?
Don't know what it is. I talk a lot of good points, so pick your choice.
You know, good coaches will be transparent with you. They're not gonna try to sell you something, you know, just to get your registration. We want the best for your player. And ultimately, if they can, you know, come into a team and impact it positively, then, you know, that's what we want. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're doing it for your kids, but we love the game of soccer and we want to see your kids progress.
No, 100%. I totally agree with everything that Aaron said there. And again, not trying to talk bad about Connecticut soccer, it is the Wild West at this time. It has got a lot worse, in my opinion, than when I first started doing this, because we used to have to do tryouts after Memorial Weekend. That used to be the rule. And then the more leagues that have added and been created, everyone's trying to do it earlier. So you get to the point now where teams are doing tryouts before they've even kicked the ball for the spring.
Right.
And if we didn't do our to me, doing tryouts in May is still too early, because I did 10 years of doing tryouts after Memorial Weekend. If we waited till after Memorial Weekend, there'll be no new players to take. So we wouldn't be able to fill any of the spots of people leaving. And if you do leave, listen, the door's always open. You know, if you look at our high school team, I would say at least 30-40% of those guys that are in that pool now left us at some point and have come back. The only issue sometimes we have is kids leave us and they want to come back onto our top team, but because they've not developed the way they could have at other clubs, they sometimes have to come back on our second and third team. And sometimes it is a little bit of a bruised ego that causes an issue. But, you know, we would still open the door and say, if you want to come back and just do USL Youth with us to keep active during the summer, still an option. Like I said, we do this for the love of the game. We understand it's a business. We do generally care about all the kids in the program, and who knows what the actual truthful, the best pathway is. We believe in our pathway, but other pathways might work. You just got to see what works for your family.
And our pathway is growing as well. You know, there's some programs that may have been established a lot longer, but you know, we do believe in our pathway, and we are working towards making it something that's sought after now. You know, our kids in the program really enjoy our competitiveness, our programs, and we want to give them more opportunities to play at a high level and competitive soccer all year round. And the USLY is a good opportunity for a lot of players that want to play at a competitive level all year round. So, you know, without making it too long, sorry again for the hiatus. But
we'll see you in 3 weeks.
No, we're working to make this a weekly thing again, and you know, hopefully to our, you know, devoted and dedicated listeners, they'll share this, and you know, thank you for listening. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free. Some of the feedback that we've gotten about this podcast has ultimately improved it. Hence now this is a 20+ minute something podcast now, instead of an hour and a half like they previously were. So again, thank you all for listening. And we have a couple exciting podcasts coming up, talking about some visa staff that we have coming or already here, and you know, looking forward to the future. So I hope everyone has a good rest of your week, good games on the weekends. And I'll see everybody soon. Thanks, Tom.
Appreciate it, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Interview Podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, find us on Facebook and Instagram, and check out our website, www.interctfc.com.